Okay, we are looking at what is absolutely going to be one of the most narratively rich, explosive matchups in modern football history, the 2026 UEFA Champions League Final. We're heading to the iconic Puskas Arena in Budapest, and you guys, the stakes here are just monumental. It's the Kings of Paris, Paris Saint-Germain, stepping onto the pitch against the relentless dreamers of North London, Arsenal. What we have in our hands is a defining clash of footballing philosophies, a battle of staggering statistics, and a massive injury crisis that could literally tilt the scales of European dominance.
So let's dive right into this explainer. We'll be looking at the history awaiting us in Budapest, the gritty defending champions, the unbeaten dreamers, exactly where this match will be won, and finally, our predictions and final verdict.
Starting off with Section 1, History Awaits in Budapest, the defenders versus the dreamers.
This right here is the grand narrative. It's the defending champions going up against a team that is just desperate to end a decades-long drought. I mean, the emotional gravity for Arsenal is absolutely massive. Founded way back in 1886, reached the absolute summit of domestic football with the Invincibles in 2004. But 2006, well, that's the year that really haunts them. Exactly 20 years ago, an Arsenal side led by Thierry Henry suffered a devastating, heartbreaking defeat against Barcelona in their only previous Champions League final. Fast forward 2 decades, and Mikel Arteta has already ended a 22-year wait for a Premier League title this season. Taking home this trophy today, that would secure a historic domestic and European double.
Moving to Section 2, the gritty defending champions, PSG's chaotic journey. So while Arsenal brings all that emotional momentum, PSG brings the swagger. They bring the swagger of a team that knows exactly how to win on this stage, even if their journey to get here was kinda wild. 44, just let that number sink in for a second. En route to this final, PSG has scored a staggering 44 goals. That's enough to make them the second highest scoring team in a single Champions League campaign in history. And what's crazy is how their journey even started. They barely scraped through the group phase, finished 11th, and had to survive a really nervy playoff against Monaco. But once the knockout rounds hit, absolute domination. I'm talking dismantling Liverpool and putting on a 9-goal, 2-leg absolute thriller against Bayern Munich.
And that sheer attacking output, it stems directly from the tactical masterminds on the touchline. Luis Enrique has totally transformed PSG into a vertical, high-energy pressing machine. They're usually operating in this aggressive 4-3-3, just flying forward in transition. Now, Mikel Arteta's Arsenal is the perfect foil to that. They are the epitome of structured defensive mastery, dropping into an incredibly disciplined 4-5-1 out of possession. It's literally breathtaking chaos going head-to-head with meticulous order.
And you know, these opposing philosophies translate perfectly into the cold, hard data. PSG's attacking chaos yields those 44 goals. In stark contrast, Arsenal's defensive order has produced an unbelievable 30 clean sheets across all competitions. Plus, they've only conceded 2 goals in the entire Champions League knockout phase. This isn't just a fun metaphor we're using, it is literally an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object.
Section 3, the unbeaten dreamers, Arsenal's methodical rise. Let's look a little closer at the team that actually built that impenetrable wall. They're arriving in Budapest as the only unbeaten team left in the tournament. But what does that actually mean psychologically? Well, Liverpool legend Steven Gerrard offered some brilliant insight here. He noted that Arsenal might actually benefit from carrying fewer expectations into this match. Think about it. PSG has the crushing weight of defending their title and living up to this massive attacking pedigree. Arsenal, coming off that emotionally liberating Premier League win, well, they're technically the underdogs here. That lack of pressure might just be their secret weapon, allowing them to play with absolute freedom and take some real creative risk. Which brings us to Section 4, where the match is won, the tactical battles.
Grand narratives are great and all, but let's be real. Finals are decided in the trenches. And right now, there's a terrifying question keeping every single Arsenal fan awake at night. Can they survive without Jurrien Timber? Arsenal is facing a massive injury crisis at right back. Ben White is completely out with a season-ending knee injury. Timber is a major doubt, having not played since March. This leaves Arteta with a horrific dilemma right before the biggest game of his life. Because this specific matchup, it's Arsenal's unsolvable problem. Kuvica Kvaratskhelia is one of the most lethal, electrifying wingers in the world right now. We're talking 6 goals, 5 assists, and he is going to be running directly at whoever Arsenal is forced to put at right back. That's likely a makeshift option, maybe center back Christian Mosquera, or even midfielder Martin Zubimendi. Luis Enrique is totally ruthless. You can guarantee PSG is going to target this exact mismatch every single time they bring the ball forward.
But of course, there are other wars being waged across the pitch. You've got Ousmane Dembélé trying to burn past Arsenal's left side. You have Declan Rice's pure, relentless energy clashing with the sheer technical brilliance of Vitinha and Neves in the midfield. Victor Gyökeres is going to be a physical wrecking ball against Marquinhos. But pay special attention to Bukayo Saka. Saka has a completely lethal track record against French opposition in this tournament. 5 goals and 3 assists in just 6 matches. If he gets space on that right side, PSG is in really deep trouble.
Finally, Section 5, Predictions and Final Verdict, Man versus Machine. So we've looked at the history, we've crunched the stats, and we've analyzed the tactics. Now, what do the experts actually think is going to happen? Honestly, the consensus leans slightly toward the defending champions. Arsenal legend Thierry Henry himself dropped a stark tactical warning, telling everyone to watch out for PSG's powerful fullbacks. The general feeling among former players is that PSG's championship pedigree, combined with their overwhelming attacking width, might just be way too much to handle for a full 90 minutes.
And you know, the financial markets, they completely agree with that human intuition. The betting odds strongly favor PSG. If you look at the American money line, it's plus 120 for Paris compared to Arsenal's plus 215. The odds makers are identifying the French giants as clear favorites. They look at PSG's explosive firepower, their experience actually winning this exact trophy last year, and they are firmly putting their money on a repeat.
But wait, here is where it gets absolutely fascinating. When you strip away human bias, you strip away the storyline and the historical pedigree, the data models tell a totally different story. The Optus supercomputer gives Arsenal a 55.76% chance of winning. The machines heavily value Arsenal's insane 30 clean sheets, their unbreakable defensive structure, and their flawless, unbeaten run over PSG's raw, chaotic talent. It is quite literally a battle of man versus machine in these predictions.
So let's quickly summarize our final tale of the tape. The case for PSG is built on championship experience, an explosive attack, and a really massive psychological edge. Because remember, they knocked Arsenal out in the semifinals last year. On the flip side, the case for Arsenal rests on an undefeated European run, historic defensive solidity, and a truly lethal mastery of set pieces, which, let's be honest, can steal a game even when you're under immense pressure.
So what's our ultimate verdict based on the sources? The data and the tape point to a fiercely tight, agonizingly close contest, ultimately ending in a 2-1 victory for PSG after 90 minutes. While Arsenal's defense is nothing short of magnificent, that undeniable crisis at right back is just too glaring of a weakness against the team with PSG's ruthless attacking quality. That vulnerability, combined with PSG's sheer experience of navigating this exact stage last year, is projected to be just enough to tip the balance.
But hey, football isn't played on a spreadsheet, right? Arsenal has the talent, the structure, and the emotional fire to absolutely prove the prediction wrong. So I leave you with this final thought as we look ahead to kickoff. Will history be repeated by the Kings of Paris cementing a modern dynasty, or will it be rewritten by the relentless dreamers of North London, finally ending a 20-year ghost story?